What's going on, NXT Universe? Mackenzie Mitchell here, and first I just want to start out this Instagram Live talking about how awesome was this past Wednesday's show on NXT. We had a major announcement from D-Generation X. I teased it earlier in the day, but we found out that NXT TakeOver will be called In Your House and will happen on June 7th. Guys, this is dating back 25 years to when the first the first In Your House happened. So I'm really excited to revisit an NXT takeover in your house, kind of a fun twist on all of that. But we also have new NXT tag team champs in Imperium. We saw what happened with Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. And let me tell you, I was backstage trying to interview both of them. They both were obviously wanting to tear each other apart, and it was pretty wild. Things got intense. We also learned that next week it's going to be Rhea Ripley taking on Io Shirai. We're also going to see Kushida taking on Drake Maverick. So there's so much in store for NXT in the upcoming future. But right now, I have a special guest that's going to join me. He was actually my very first interview in NXT. So really excited to get him on, revisit that, and kind of just talk about his time that he has been spending on Raw lately. So let me get him on. He is the Mr. All Day Austin Theory. Let me see if I can connect with him. Waiting for Austin Theory connecting. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. Nice to see you. Have you been holding up with everything lately?
I'd have to say, like, these at-home workouts, they're just getting old.
Okay.
Everybody feels that way, but yeah, I'm just ready for things to get back to normal.
Yeah, you and me both. That was kind of my first question. We've been seeing you doing some at-home workouts, I think outside in your like front yard and on your driveway and all of that. You've obviously know the importance of staying in shape. You were a men's bodybuilding champion when you were 17.
Yeah.
What have you been doing to stay in shape at home besides the workouts at home? Is it diet as well, or kind of tell me your routine?
No, the diet is definitely important, especially, staying in the house. You just want to eat everything. So,
right.
It's kind of like mentally challenging too, because it's, like eating everything in the kitchen, and especially like with Raw every Monday, and
sure.
Be ready for that, and not knowing exactly what's going to happen. You just want to be ready at all times. So yeah, I'm just having to make sure everything's in line.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know for me, it's been a challenge. I want to go to the refrigerator every 20 minutes. So I can only imagine being on Raw every Monday night, trying to keep yourself in shape. I'm sure that's been a challenge. But I want to go back. You were 17 when you first won your very first championship. You were competitive at a very young age.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole bodybuilding thing, I do have interest in bodybuilding, but it wasn't to make a career in that. That was actually just to be a step to try to get noticed by WWE. So that's the only reason I ever did it. I had a friend that was a bodybuilder, and he was like, hey, man, I heard you're interested in wrestling. He was like, well, I won my show, and there were some scouts from WWE at my show, and they offered me a tryout. So, in my mind at 17, I'm like, oh, okay, so if I just go win a bodybuilding show, I might get a WWE tryout.
Wow, and look where you are.
Yeah, that's all that was behind that. So there was never like me looking for a career in that. It was honestly just something to try to do to get to the WWE.
Wow. So have you always been a wrestling fan, or you knew that was always in the cards for you?
Always.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you're only 22, and you're now, I think you have to be the youngest on the Raw roster at this point.
So.
How has that experience been?
It's crazy, and especially too, like when I see some of the guys in the locker room, and you never want to tell them like, hey, I used to watch you growing up,
Right.
But sometimes we get across that, and it's real cool. Like I got to talk to Edge the other day, and that's somebody that was my childhood. Like him versus John Cena. That was a rivalry that I'll always remember. So it was cool, like getting to explain to him that and getting to talk to him.
Yeah, that must be amazing.
Yeah.
What message do you send to all of your younger fans and teens out there that
might be looking to be in the WWE and kind of transitioning into wrestling whenever they get older, what do you send them a message to, or what do you say whenever you're speaking to them about trying to reach for success?
Honestly, it's that I feel like a lot of people worry about failing at something, and
Hmm.
I feel like I've always heard that, and I feel like it's so like, yeah, I know, but everybody says that, but it's honestly just not being afraid to fail, and the risk the risk is so high because like when I used to say like, oh, I want to be in WWE when I was in elementary school and middle school, and I'd get the craziest looks, but it's
Right.
I mean, look now. That's so now it's like all those people hit me up and they're like, "Man, it's so crazy like seeing you, on TV. It's just insane." But yeah, it's just that risk. Like you got to be able to take that risk and you got to trust in yourself. And that's the
Sure.
biggest thing. Like if there's no belief in yourself, then, nobody's going to believe in you at all.
Right. Well, you are 22 and we've seen, you advanced this much, so much in your career and have such a bright future. Where do you credit your success thus far? Is it like ambition? Is it confidence? Or is it kind of, where does that lie exactly?
I just think like it's so weird, but like when I was 8 years old and I seen WWE, I was like, that's what I want to do. And I remember
Hmm.
getting told, when you get about 15 or 16, your mind's gonna change. You're gonna be into different things, but it never did. It always stayed so constant. And I don't know. I'm so grateful for some of the people I've met in my life because they've helped me with my mindset. And I've always
Hmm.
been so strong minded about things that I've wanted. And that's kind of what guided me to, all right, a bodybuilding show. That's how I get to WWE. Okay, I'm going to do it and I'm going to win. Oh, do this. Okay, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to, whatever it takes. Like I was just always looking for what I had to do. And I feel like, in a way, you could say the bodybuilding thing was a success, but at the same time, maybe that was like a failure trying to get to WWE. But
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't be afraid to fail. I just took a chance
Sure.
saying, hey, maybe this gets me there, maybe it doesn't. And it didn't. So I just kept looking.
Yeah. Do you have somebody that's been your biggest inspiration through it all?
Yeah, John Cena. That's
Okay.
always, yeah. Um, my thing with him was it was how he just acted and how he presented himself. And it just literally never give up. That was something that I stood by like my whole life. And it was cool actually. I got to talk to him about that. And that was
I was
something.
gonna ask, have you got to meet him yet?
Yeah, yeah. And it was cool because, people always asked you, they're like I noticed when I got to WWE, they're like, how just be yourself. And when I got to talk to him, I was like, it's so weird getting to tell you this. I was like, but I've kind of modeled my life like after how you were. And he was just like, wow, that's so cool. But yeah, just never give up. Like that's his thing. So I don't want to say that's my advice to people.
Sure.
That's just what I used. Just never give up.
That's really awesome. Um, okay, so we've seen you in WWE since really only August.
Hmm.
You started at NXT, obviously. You got to wrestle some of the best in NXT per se, and Tommaso Ciampa and Roderick Strong. How was that experience being so new in WWE and getting those opportunities?
It was really cool, and especially like those guys. They've been doing this for so long, like longer than I have, and just their experience level and just how big their names are. Even before WWE, but in NXT, just what they've
Hmm.
done and the success they've had. It's awesome just to be able to get that opportunity so quick and just take advantage of it.
Yep. Well, you obviously spent quite a time at the PC and NXT. Did that help you in transitioning over to Monday Night Raw?
I think anything that I've done in the Performance Center has helped. Just everybody's different viewpoints, not only the talent, but especially the coaches, especially Shawn Michaels. That's somebody that I learned a lot from. And I still, get some advice from him and ask him about things. So, and that's somebody that was on Monday Night Raw and did a lot there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you competed in this year's WrestleMania, something that takes many superstars years to accomplish to get to that point. What was that like getting to compete in this past year's WrestleMania?
Um, like I always believed in myself that I would wrestle at WrestleMania one day, but I did not expect it to have no fans. So that was a
Right.
different experience. But at the end of the day, my name will always be on WrestleMania 36.
Sure.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. And I've had kids, like when I do Instagram Live, kids ask me, like, how did it feel? And I'm like, honestly, like, if you got told right now that you were on WrestleMania, that's how it feels. It's
Of
for like a little
course.
kid, you know?
Were you nervous at all? Were you anxious? Like, how was that feeling when you first were told, hey, you're going to be on WrestleMania this year?
So I feel like I would have been nervous, but I think just things were happening so fast.
Right.
And it was like we were just doing stuff so quick. I didn't really have time to get nervous. I just had to say, all right, it's time to just focus and do what you always do. So it just wasn't
Yeah.
time for that.
Yeah, of course. Well, you've had a lot of awesome opportunities come your way so far. You were in the last chance gauntlet match to secure the final spot in Money in the Bank. Unfortunately, you lost, but you got to share the ring with Rey Mysterio and Bobby Lashley and so many other greats. How was that experience?
That's really cool. I actually got to tell Rey Mysterio, like, I grew up watching you, man. So it's a big deal for me. Um, I know like times are tough right now and stuff, but awesome stuff is still happening, and especially for myself, like, yeah, just stuff like that I'll remember forever.
Yeah, of course. Well, you have such a bright future in WWE. What is a goal of yours that you'd like to accomplish?
Definitely WWE champion. That's
Okay.
that's always been on the list.
Shoot for the top, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. That's all I do.
I love that. Which kind of goes into my next question. You always say all day. That's kind of your like tagline. Where did all day come from?
So I actually was on an independent show, and I came out, and a lot of people were just hating me. They were booing me, and the camera guy was right there. And I remember just like sticking my like finger out, and I was just like all day. And I think what like started that for me inside was just like, it doesn't matter how people feel about me. It doesn't matter how they feel. Like, I'm showing up and I'm doing what I do best, and I can do it all day. And
Sure.
that's just the message I had behind that. Like, and especially I feel like now the way I've gotten to WrestleMania, so quick, and Monday Night Raw, it's just like I can do it all day. Like, there's no time for me to, slack. There's no time for me to relax. Like, I'm on just always. So that just
Sure.
kind of plays into it.
Wow. Well, what is something that the WWE universe, NXT universe that's watching might not know about you?
So something I've kind of been sharing a little bit that people don't know, I'm like a really big horror fan. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I started like this weird like collection of like collecting like these like life-size like horror props.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also into like
Like give me an example of what would one be?
so like I like Child's Play a lot. So like Chuck,
Okay.
like Jason and Freddy, of course. Um, I also have like a giant Iron Man in my house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need a picture of that on social media. We need to
I,
see that on your story sometime soon, if it's not been up there already.
I don't think. Well, maybe I think it has before, but I'll definitely do it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say you love sitting on the couch and watching the horror movies. You don't get scared in the least bit.
No, like I think, because I'm older, like I don't really get scared as much, but I mean, especially if you've watched the movie before. But I like watching like newer ones, and then you kind of get blown away. Like when they get you, like and you're older, it's good.
Sure. And besides like the collections that you're now starting and working out, what are you doing in your spare time?
Oh, that's so hard because it's like uh, I recently just came back home to Georgia, so I'm
Okay.
right now I'm at home with my family. So I guess that's the other thing, just trying to why we have this free time because of how crazy the schedule is with WWE, just getting to spend time
Mhm.
with my family and stuff. And my little brothers especially, like one of them is so obsessed with WWE, and he loves wrestling. So it's really cool getting to see him especially.
And I'm sure you're getting to tell him all these stories of like, I got to meet Edge, I got to meet
Yeah,
John Cena, and I'm sure
yeah,
his eyes are this big around.
yeah. He thinks
Um,
it's so crazy.
so you are from Georgia, obviously, a big Braves fan. Is Georgia still where your heart lies? Do you love spending time there?
Like I think it's just for my family, honestly. My wrestling school is in Atlanta. The WWA 4 school is. Um, so there's a lot of memories here, but necessarily, like I do enjoy Florida a lot, just because of like the theme parks and stuff like that. I feel like there's more to do.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would just say Georgia because my family's here.
What's your favorite theme park?
Uh, I went to Disney when I was younger, But I recently got I started going to Disney. I haven't really got to experience all of them because of the
Hmm.
shutdown. But I enjoy Universal a lot. Like that's pretty fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I'm sure you'll definitely go in October if hopefully everything's open. I think it's around October, Halloween, for
I
Halloween
hope
Horror
so.
Nights. Have you been before?
I have. Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're in Florida and everything happens the way it should, you would get to go again this year. So that'd be awesome. But thank you so much for spending time with me today. Enjoy your time with your family. We love watching you on Monday Night Raw for sure. So
Thank you so much. This was fun.
yeah, of course. All right. Bye, Austin.
All right. See ya.